This balance patch is easily in the top 3 for best patches that have happened so far in MK1. This one is huge. It helps out most of the lower tier characters in the game and potentially gives Scorpion his new meta cameo. It'll be up there with Chameleon, I'll show you. He might have a new meta. The setups with this cameo are absurd. Hey, because I'm giving out the secret tech with this character, go ahead and subscribe down below. I think about half of you guys watching this video aren't subscribed. So the first character that got buffed is Geras. Inevitable now has 21 startup frames, which is down from 26. Timefall, which is the away plus back kick, now recovers 2 frames faster. He got an adjustment to the hit regions of Sandstorm, making it easier to send the opponents forward, and increase the maximum range that colliding worlds can teleport, which is nice. Johnny Cage got some nerfs, and I finally think NetherRealm addressed the true issues that made Johnny so cheap and why he was never not top 3. Show-off parry now has 8 startup frames, up from 6. Enhanced show-off parry now has 4 startup frames, up from 0, and has 15 more recovery frames. Show-off and enhanced show-off can no longer be delayed, and shadow kick and enhanced shadow kick now has 10 startup frames, up from 8, and has 2 more frames of recovery on miss. I can't believe a 0 frame riskless parry lasted that long in this game. It's absurd. He could parry everything and full combo off of it, or just be safe if he missed the punish. And second, the nerf to the shadow kick is huge. I always said that, yeah, Johnny's a rushdown character, but he has none of the weaknesses of a rushdown. And that was solely based on the fact that the kick was 8 frame startup. It's like the fastest special move in the game, and he could keep it safe with a cameo. So he just closes the space for free instantly. And then even when he would whiff the kick, it was super hard to punish. So yes, NetherRealm finally addressed the actual problems, breaking the archetype of rushdown, because he didn't have to work to get in at all. That should be the weakness of a rushdown character. If you create space, that's when you're at the advantage, but Johnny just neutralized all of that with the kick. Katana reduced the combo damage scaling of Square Wave and Enhanced Square Wave. Katana already did a whole lot of damage with cameos like Jax, but honestly, I'm cool with this buff. I think they're trying to make more people play Katana because she's not even a bad character. She's up high on most people's tier lists. It's just there's something about her that people don't enjoy playing as much in this game. Kind of surprised to see Lee May here, because I've been saying it, if Lee May gets any substantial buff, she can become a top 5 character in the game. The first attack in Pancration Champion now has 16 startup frames, which is down from 19. The second change is that Sky Lantern, after being ignited by Nova Blast, now hits mid and causes 10 more frames of block stun with slightly increased pushback. And then finally, Lion's Pounce, the Towards plus front kick, now has 3 more active frames and recovers 7 frames faster. Natara got 1 buff, and that is the move Must Feed, can now be 2 in 1 canceled and does 20 less damage. This one I see people divided on Twitter. Some people think it's a buff, some people think it's not enough and would have just preferred extra health, but it's something at the very least. Reptile got a whole bunch of changes. I think the devs are really trying to put Reptile in the meta. Devastating Blow, away plus back punch, now recovers 4 frames faster and has 5 more frames of block stun. The Devastating Blow Charge and Devastating Blow Charge Maximum now recover 5 frames faster. Tale of Two Hitties and Sneaky Lizard now recovers 3 frames faster on hit and has 5 more block stun frames. And then lastly, Acid Spit, Enhanced Acid Spit Ball, and Enhanced Acid Spit Ball now have 5 more block stun frames. And we're not done. Sub-Zero gets a buff. Freezing Point is now -7 on block, which is down from -12, which is pretty huge. And then Blistering Blizzard now recovers 2 frames faster and has consistent combo damage scaling for airborne and grounded opponents. Oh, you see it? Scorpion's on here? Let's go! Heavy Knee, which is Scorpion's mid cancel frame, is now 2 frames earlier and has 1 less recovery frame. And then Fire Pillar Thrust, which is his mid attack that was added somewhat recently, now has 18 startup frames, down from 19. True Peacemaker nerfs are finally here. They tried a little something in the last patch and it didn't really affect him at all. Activate Human Torpedo and the Enhanced Torpedo now have 16 startup frames, which is up from 12, and 13 more frames of recovery on miss. Activate Human Torpedo no longer causes stumble animation when blocked and has 10 less frames of block stun. Beautiful Bird Bullet now has 10 less frames of block stun with less pushback on block. Ground Air Offensive now has 5 less frames of block stun with less pushback on block. Activate Force Field now has 30 more frames of recovery, thank you. And Anti-Gravity's attack now does 35 damage on block, down from 50. Okay, we're on to the cameo fighters, and this first one is absolutely huge. Cameo Sonya has been buffed. Leg grab now has 25 startup frames instead of 29, and it hits overhead and is +1 on block. It used to be -9, which means it went from unsafe to safe plus. Striker got a little buff, which I think is nice. They're finally buffing the right things about him. The first change just fixes some gravity issues on his second grenade of either toss, whether it's short or long. And then Cuffed now has 9 less frames of recovery on miss and is +1 on block, up from -9. And he reaches slightly farther away, which means he's also getting the Sonya treatment. We are taking a move that was completely full combo punishable on block to being safe and plus on block. Movado got a 50 HP health buff, which is really nice. With most characters, you'll have 950 health now. Havoc also got shown some love. Chaos Kick, which is his back kick, now recovers 1 frame faster. Dislocated, which is the front kick, now has 13 startup frames, down from 15. And then Drop Dead, the towards plus front punch plus front kick, now recovers 15 frames faster and has 10 less frames of block stun. All right, now I want to show you why this is such a big deal for Scorpion, even though I do think this patch is a bigger deal for somebody like Reptile or Sub-Zero. I mean, Sub-Zero's mid-string was just made safe on block, essentially. You can always end it on the low, but for Scorpion, 18 frames means there's no longer a gap in the mid-mid, which is huge for him, considering he has so many gaps. Like 122 has a gap. 333 has a gap. 214 has a gap. 432 has a gap. And you get the idea. And next, 4-3 has 1 less frame of recovery, meaning it's a little better for strike throw. You can kind of do this a little bit better, make your opponent guess between throw or mid, and that's good because if you get the mid off, now there's no gap and the opponent has to take that. But what's really interesting is the fact that you can cancel the 4-3 2 frames quicker. This is a big deal because situations like these happen with all the cameos in the game Scorpion uses. A lot of opponents are looking to duck this 4-3-2. Just like this, and so they can do a down 1 or things like that. You know, you could poke or punish, but a down 1. Now that it's 2 frames quicker, I actually can't get my down 1 off like that. Chameleon's not the greatest example, because in the past, that would actually trade. Reptile's down 1 would hit Scorpion, and the Jave Glade would hit Reptile, and Scorpion could still convert for a combo. But now, that down 1 is not coming out. You have to block that. It's more noticeable when you use a cameo like Sub-Zero. I can't poke before that. I have to just accept that I need to block because now Scorpion is canceling quicker than he was before. There is one downside though of the 4-3 being able to special cancel 2 frames faster, and that's that in the past, teleport cancel was a mind game on armoring those gaps. It's still around for the 4-3-4. If I go like this, I can end up punishing the opponent for trying to interrupt the gap. The 4-3 used to work the same way, but now that it cancels 2 frames faster, Reptile actually goes at you the correct direction and doesn't end up full screen for the punish. And yes, Reptile's role there is technically punishable, but he can be saved by cameos because he's right there facing me. The cameos actually whiff when he ends up doing stuff like this, but they keep him safe when you do stuff like this. So we have lost the 4-3 teleport cancel mind game. You just kind of have to block if the opponent's going to armor it. And now let's talk about Scorpion plus Sonya Blade cameo. I have a strong feeling this is going to be a top 2 cameo for Scorpion. This makes Scorpion feel more like MKX Scorpion because you actually get a vortex, and that's amazing. Let's start basic though. Down 3 into overhead is going to be so annoying because it is a full combo launch for tons of damage and it is +1 on block, so it is still my turn. Yeah, if you thought Chameleon Melina was bad, just look at this one. Next up, Square Wave combos off the mid for a lot of damage. I spent 0 bars. That was so basic, and that was 33%. It also can combo off the 2-1-4, but as you can see, it is really hard to time. You have to almost get lucky with it. Like right there I got it, but I do not recommend it if I'm being honest with you. It's kind of a throw, but it's a lot of damage, 40%, and I dropped. On the bright side though, it's a lot easier in the corner because you can actually use it towards the end of the string. So, you know, feel free to use it. At range, Sonya plays neutral really well. If we call Sonya out right here, I can teleport, keep it safe if the opponent blocks, and get a full combo if my opponent hits buttons. Same with teleport cancel, which people tend to hit down one on because, yeah, it's not a great move. Again, you keep it safe so the opponent can't down one you, and if they do down one you, you get a full combo punish. Ground flames, safe. You can keep spear safe, just like that. So it's clear, Sonya can help Scorpion play neutral. She gives him an overhead that's really cheesy with his good down 3, and then she gives a lot of damage with the air combo extender. But it's the vortex you do with this move that gets crazy. This is where most people start when they learn this vortex. It's very easy, and other cameos can do it, like Sector. I just got a grab combo. Not a lot of damage on that one, but you can do 20 to 24% if you go ahead and spend bar and do more creative stuff. So you already have a throw mine game. You ask what that throw mine game is? If I do something like this instead, Sonya covers the forward 3-2 gap right there. So if the opponent ducks, they will get hit and you can full combo. It'll go like this. Let me show you. I'm going to keep the combo short just so we can get to the part where we're resetting. Right there, I had Sonya shoot the gap, and that's just another step. Just like that, and you can keep repeating. Look how fast she's recharging. Now let's move to the more advanced stuff. When we hit spear the second time, we call Sonya out. I just comboed off the low. So now, Reptile is guessing between ducking, so he doesn't get grabbed, and blocking low. But you're probably thinking, you can just block low, and that covers both the mid option and the low option. That's when you'll do this instead. Get Reptile with the wake up overhead, or hit him on wake up with the overhead. So now, Reptile is just fearing for his life. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this though. I can just guarantee about 11% damage just by doing that. That's the amount of a throw. So if the opponent gets put into that, it's game over if they have less than 10% health. And there's just so many things. I can now end all my strings with this and I'm still plus. So you actually gain pressure. And alongside Scorpion's forward 3 having a quicker recovery, you have decent strike throw. Oh, you thought I was done? There is one more thing that Sonya covers that is absolutely absurd. When I go for something like this, I'm gonna finish the combo, and normally I'd be, you know, a little spooked. I break armor, so Reptile can no longer just wake up armor on me. I can endlessly do it, I can loop it, so say goodbye to armor. It's a whole mind game. Do I wake up armor? Do I duck a grab? What do I do as Reptile? It's so good. It's like a true vortex. There's just a lot you could do with this character, man. If you like playing mind games, you are going to have a blast using Sonya. Imagine this scenario could actually play out in a real match very easily. Opponent got desperate. That's 3 openings for 100% health, and all it took was that the opponent armored twice after getting hit by, you know, hitting down 1 when I went for my teleport. But let's look at a different situation. Imagine I use Sonya's, you know, square wave to start this combo in the corner. Does a ton of damage, right? Do this, opponent tried to escape with armor. Awesome. I just reset. The opponent's already lost most of their health. I go like this, and now I'm going to turn off the wake up armor. Now, it's just like, I could pressure to the end of the round if I want to. Like, 11% health, almost exactly. You see what I mean? The opponent's stuck. I could have done the throw option. I could have just used the ground flames amplified and finished the round. It's crazy, man. So all in all, the Sonya buff might be the biggest thing of the patch, but Scorpion changes are nice too, because Sonya pairs so well with this character. I'm gonna have a video going online with this duo tomorrow, and I'm just gonna show you the power. It causes so many rage quits. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Hey, if you guys enjoyed, feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.